Good morning. A very warm welcome to our live phone-in program by Kishore Manch by CIT NCERT. My name is Dipti Gupta and today's topic of discussion is pedagogical leadership in schools. And to discuss this topic, today we have with us Professor B.P. Bhardwaj, who is Professor in Department of Teacher Education, NCERT. So before starting the topic, leadership, as we all know, leadership plays a very important role in every school. Every stakeholder has a responsibility to improve the quality education of our system. But a leader plays a very important role. A leader always plays a foundation to improve the system, and it is he or she is capable for transforming the school system so that every teacher and student in the system can flourish. So besides the role of a school leader or the principal, beyond this role he has got many other roles too. Among these roles, a pedagogical leadership plays an important role. So today we will be discussing about what is pedagogical leadership and what are the different strategies which a principal or the school leader can follow to improve the system. So sir, first of all, again I would like to welcome in the show, and we would like to ask you what is pedagogical leadership is all about.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Deepthi. Good morning to everybody. In fact, that this pedagogical leadership in schools is relatively a new term. If you see, this has the pedagogy. We have to understand that what is the pedagogy. The understanding of how learning takes place and the philosophy and practice that support the understanding of learning. Essentially, it is the study of the teaching and learning process. The first we should know that what is the pedagogy, then the role will be defined. The second term is leadership. What type of leadership actually? The act of leading or guiding individuals or groups. The leadership has involved many folded parameters. Then we come to the pedagogical leadership. We generally talk that leadership in schools, we talk about academic leadership in schools, then we talk about when we view the role of the leader, like in universities it can be the vice chancellors, it can be in the institution, it can be the principal in school, it can be the principals. That academic comes the first. He has, if we look to the profile of such a educationists, the academicians, that his first role, the essential role is lead as academics, in the academics. But in the present scenario, is really the principal is looking to that role, and how much or what type of in terms of percentage is given to by the head of the institution to these activities. Actually, this pedagogical leadership, learning or guiding the teaching and learning process, it is linked to both transformational and instructional leadership. So this is the perceived role of the pedagogical leadership in any school, in any institution of a learning, because this is this is knowledge driven society. If you look to our ancient literature, when the Rigved said that let the noble thought comes from every side, are really we are wondering that noble thoughts or not? When Sri Aurobindo said that no child to be looked upon as unfit to education is really the head of the institutions, is perceiving that statement or working to the statement that what my faculty must do, I must take initiatives in this direction, that the teacher must reach in the class, in the school, to each and every child. The learning process to be there in the class. A very significant role of the teacher, or you can say the head of the institutions, that they have the great strength to lies in the example they set of curiosity. बच्चों में जिज्ञासा उनको उत्पन्न करनी है, open mindedness, they must be open mindedness, willingness to put their assumptions to the test and to acknowledge mistakes, whatever mistakes if they have done. It means that they have the limitation, like if I'm teaching physics, I know some the content is not very much familiar to me, or my communication skill is very weak, I am not able to communicate to the students, that I must realize and I must admit, and most of them is transmit a love for learning. that actually this is the role of the head of the institution, this is the role of the pedagogical leader, this is the role of the teacher, that they must transmit love for learning to each and every students. And you know, the saying again that this is an old saying, but this has the relevant, you know, today itself, that one who dares to teach must never cease to learn. As an academic leader, we must be engaged in professional development and guiding our faculty members, teachers, students, and so on. Yeah, please.
Okay, so what is the importance?
Yeah.
How a pedagogical leader, or either the school teacher or the school principal only has a role of pedagogical leader, or both can be a pedagogical leader, and what is the importance?
Yeah, see, देखिए, pedagogical leader is basically, you know, he has to you know, strengthen the institution in a way that learning takes place and ultimately that result oriented to be there. If teacher has the limited scope, of course he is or she in the classroom is a head, he is a pedagogical leader in the particular class. But when the question comes of total institutions, the school, of course the principal must take up this lead. He must take some initiatives, you know, for that. The first and foremost is that how much time he or she is devoting for that pedagogical leadership. I'd like to give an example here. It's a really, you know, which till today, it's more than a 3 decade, but which inspired me. In my early teaching days, I was working with a principal who gave me the 11th class. In the beginning itself, I said, sir, kindly give me some lower class. You know what he said? No, I have given you the 11th class. I said, sir, I am not prepared. So what? 2 more days are there. Go and prepare. I studied for 2 days. I consulted with the senior teachers. And ultimately, before going to the class, he called me and asked, what you have prepared? What you have prepared? Then he guided me for more than 15 minutes. You know, that first confidence, what the principal has built, he has guided me till today. I remember. Within 15 minutes, he has narrated that what step you must take in the class, then how further you can go for this topic, what other things is needed, with whom you can consult, with whom you can go for further learning, etc. That was my first learning. That is the role of the principal,
Yes.
actually. No.
So we have a question from our viewer who is viewing the program on the live YouTube channel, and he has a query: how a headmaster can lead if a staff member is not supportive?
No, actually, you have a query this, eh?
Yes, a
No,
person, a viewer has a
actually, a
query.
staff member, you know, the role of the head is to convert the challenges into the opportunities. That's why he is a leader. He is a
Yes.
school leader. He is an academic leader. He has a range of experiences, years together. He has a experience. He must know how to read the mind of his teachers and how to motivate them. That if he or she is not that much capable, I think the institution may not flourish up to that level. Actually, he has to read his mind. The teachers,
Yes.
what is wrong with him? How he can motivate? You know, in the first day when the principal told me you take the 11th class, I was, you know, saying what type of principal he is. The first day he has asked me. He has not given me a time, but when he sat with me with 15 minutes, you know, and he has told that you go to the class. These are the steps. These are the things. I was thinking that his harsh behavior towards me, but you know, ultimately it lended to the confidence in me, and
Yes.
teaching learning process facilitated.
And
Thank
every
you.
leader should understand his
Yeah.
teachers, how their teaching practice goes on, and according to that, a role of a leader increases. Like what are the gaps in their teaching practices or the teaching learning process, and they can improve and can support at their gap areas basically.
You know the teacher support. I'll take another example. When I was in teacher education institutions, one teacher and headmaster was fighting with each other. The teacher says she was highly qualified, she was MSc. The teacher says that this headmaster doesn't understand. He is not academically so good, so he doesn't understand that what I am teaching in the class and so on. What the headmaster said, that this teacher may be highly qualified, but she is not fit to deliver to my students, to the level to the students. You know the gap, this was the gap. Perhaps this was the gap of the 20-30 years of service together, but they have not sat together. You know, when they are sitting together and resolving that, madam, I know the content, but you have the experiences, and how my children will learn, that you have to tell me. You know, when I was organizing a program for professional development for teachers, I prepared well. But you know, it was in the beginning of my career. I prepared for 1.5 hours. In 45 minutes itself, everything I delivered. The person who was the course director laughed at me and said, you have well prepared. But you know, your lecture you have not linked, your interaction you have not linked with these participants. Beyond the classroom, beyond the textbook, you must see that and relate. You know that learning takes mutual understanding. This teacher has a lot of experiences. So you must take them something, then only it will come. It will come definitely if you have the, you know, leadership, some certain qualities. The patience is one of them. The motivating them is to doing work by himself as a leader. I know a number of principals who till today take the class and they go for 1 hour or 1.5 hours. A principal I was knowing who was an economics teacher, and most of the, you know, students get distinction in the economics. But he hardly has seen that he is not going to the class. That, you know, culture you have to create. Ultimately the teacher may follow, may not follow, that I am not saying, but you know, at least he will be or she will be inspired.
Yes, right.
Teachers is not that much harsh or hard. This one. Okay, thank you.
So due to this, teacher, again the role of a principal increases a lot, because if he or she focus on the teaching learning process of the school, then definitely his role has to be changed. So what are the different roles to be a pedagogical leader?
See, soon is a very good teacher became the principal. He has the challenges as manager, as administrator, as, you know, planner, and many more roles is there. But what I feel and I mean to convey it, that first and foremost, he or she is an academic leader in the school. They must visit the class, not as inspecting the class. Sometimes they must sit in the class. Just a word by the principal, well, good, you are teaching mathematics here. We could not get such a good teacher in our school days. Otherwise I would have been a good, you know, in the mathematics. This only a simple word of the principal may inspire the teacher. It definitely will inspire the teachers. Sometimes that, you know, principal is from the higher classes. He doesn't understand the pedagogy of the primary school, the elementary school. But his mere visit, you know, and giving, you know, a type of encouragement and confidence to the primary school teachers, the elementary school teachers. Hey, madam, fine, you are doing well, I am happy. Only this much, you know. If he visit in a weekly, even give half an hour to such type of activities. But you know, sometimes principals hardly, you know, see primary section when only sports day is there, or annual day is there, or cultural day is there. Otherwise he or she must regular visit to the classrooms, and they must interact with the students. You know, what are you doing nowadays? Did you understand this topic? But sometimes, you know, the problem comes when principal is talking about his own subject only, and he is not able to come out from his subject, like science teacher, a mathematics teacher who became principals later on, how he or she has to promote the language, or how he or she has to see the social science subjects. You know, a very good example, you know, I'll give you a pedagogical leadership, that a principal in a small school was, you know, taking himself interest that how map reading, teaching about the map reading, you know, the concept of map reading, how my student can understand. He has taken the initiative for that. Teachers also joined with him, and that was, you know, class 5th, 6th and 7th. That was a unique, you can say, that experiment on innovative practices, that entire school system became aware of that map reading concept, that where is India, where are the states, where are others like European countries, Asian countries and so on. There.
So there is another question from our viewer. Who is pedagogical leader in school, class teacher or principal, and why?
No, I have already said
yes,
that.
already you have discussed.
I have already addressed this question. Friends, definitely the teacher is, you know, a kind of leader. The student follow him. His teaching learning process, the pedagogical skills involving the process is really make him a teacher, and you know what type of teachers with students may remember him till the life. You know how mathematics was taught in my early days, or language is taught in my early days. I remember the teachers till today. But when the question comes of the whole of the institutions, the, you know, stages of the teachers, like primary school teachers, elementary school teachers, TGTs, trained graduate teachers, PGTs, postgraduate teachers, how to bring them together? What are the synergies to bring them? What are the platforms to be explored by them for making the teaching learning process? It is, you know, it is the principal only who can explore from the community. You know, very good doctors are available, other engineers are available. They were able to, you can say that they will contribute to the school system if principal is little bit aware and principal can involve such.
So
we can take up the questions in the later, I think.
Yes,
Yeah, please, sir.
later, sir. So, sir, what are the different steps that can be taken for this concern in the schools?
Okay. See, the academic leader or principal must establish, implement and achieve academic standards. He must fix some target. That's why, you know, recently NCERT has come out with a document that learning outcomes.
Yes.
That is what the final target. That we want that at least
That
this much we need to establish, implement and achieve academic standards. That, you know, of course he or she has to do with in consultation with his faculty members. What can be the real target in the academics? He knows his students of this much is to be done. So you know that you can say that fortnightly or a monthly academic, you know, not just having a meeting and saying what syllabus you have covered and give me the status, how many chapter has been completed, this and that. Instead of this, if the principal talks, fine, in you know language teaching, how you find that students, how students are showing interest in the second language acquisition, what type of the skills they have developed, you know. Can they write some application? Can they write something to the community? Can they understand this poem? What level you are there actually in? Not only that completing the syllabus, but you know when he talked beyond the syllabi, beyond the textbook, then only I think this culture of pedagogical leadership can be promoted.
Yes.
Yeah. Then the principal as pedagogical resource. Suppose I am a mathematics teacher. I know after long duration I have been promoted at PGT, postgraduate teacher, and I am little bit, you know, have tight hands in content. So what principal is helping me in that one?
Different.
In the community, if any, you can say that college professors are there, university professors are there, whether working or retired, or any mathematics forms are there. He or she must take such type of steps that the principal should not feel embarrassed that in the classroom. He should feel that I am being motivated, I am not being, you know, that commented time and again. But ultimately what my principal is suggesting me, this will help me to perform my role, and ultimately the student will think that teacher is competent, because you know that our best evaluator is the student only. Every time cannot be the principal in the class, you know, ultimately that student and the parents.
और टीचर के पास ज्यादा रिसोर्सेज होंगे तो और ज्यादा कॉम्पिटेंसी भी होगी।
उसका देखिए प्रिंसिपल का एक रोल ये होना चाहिए कि उस टीचर को क्या चाहिए वो बताए उसको। कि आपको क्या चाहिए, कि ये मुझे बताएं आपकी ये मैथमेटिक्स के 11th क्लास के या 12th क्लास के ये टॉपिक मेरी समझ में नहीं है। मैंने बहुत साल तक एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन या सेकेंडरी एजुकेशन में काम किया है, मैं अभी नया सेकेंडरी एजुकेशन में आया हूँ, तो ही और सी मस्ट टेक अप दोस स्टेप्स. You know, sometimes that teachers doesn't has that quality of writing skills, क्योंकि लैंग्वेज एक ऐसी स्किल है जो ओवर ए पीरियड और उसके साथ साथ एवरी टाइम देयर इज ए स्कोप टू रिफाइन इट. प्रिंसिपल का उसमें क्या रोल है कि भाई आपने लिखा बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन मुझे लगता था कि ये सेंटेंस अगर ऐसे हो जाता तो इसका जो है थोड़ा सा और इम्पैक्ट होता, बच्चों पर पड़ता. तो दैट ही हैज टू डू इट.
And following
then set realistic expectation from the staff. ये बहुत बड़ा, देखिए एक डिससेटिस्फेक्शन का कारण ये भी है स्कूल में कि बहुत ज़्यादा हम एक्सपेक्टेशन टीचर से करते हैं कि भाई इतना कंप्लीट करें, इतने सभी में भाग लें. समटाइम्स they are also tired and they are also human beings by traveling, by other things, fatigue, many more things are there. वो ठीक है, उनकी तबीयत ठीक नहीं है, कभी कभी क्लास नहीं ले पा रहे हैं, तो उनको डीमोटिवेट ना करें, कहें कि ठीक है, थैंक यू, नो प्रॉब्लम, if you are not able to take today, complete it tomorrow, what is there?
Yes.
That that rapport between the head of the institution and the teachers. And he must understand that the teaching learning process is actually when both are active. The learner is active, the teacher is active. And if there is a willingness, to learn more, it multiplied.
Yes.
Then you can say that develop educators teamwork. See, like primary classes, if you say, or elementary classes, he may not be every time available and can go, but he can have a team, like pool of the teachers, pool of the resource persons. In government schools, very well, when the concept of DIET came, District Institute of Education and Training, that was really the concept that this DIET will be the think tank at the district level. And they will provide the teaching learning material as well as process as well as pedagogy to the schools and help, including the hands-on experiences. The professional development of that particular district, to be completed, to be nurtured by the DIETs. Number of other institutions are also available. I'm sure a principal or a teacher will approach to any academicians in the vicinity, in the nearby, they will definitely help. And sometimes a decade and years of experiences will make learning very simple and fruitful. Then another point we have, the establish and maintain positive relationship with students, staff and parents. See, the exploring possibility. Students, sometimes if you see in the real classroom situation, few students will have the very good handwriting, you can use them. Writing on the blackboards, say that friends, your only 5, 6, 10 student friends are there, they are not able to write very good, kindly motivate, they will be very happy, Similarly, some teachings, I was when I put a few early years in the school, one of the teacher, he was mathematics teacher, but he was trying, like any map you give him, within a second he will give all the map. The social science teachers could not draw that map. The drawing teacher was not able to draw the map. When I asked to the social science teacher, we used to say, sir, I am the political science honor student, so I don't know this concept of geography, but teacher is one only. But the mathematics teacher, he used to go to social science class, so we can learn from each others.
Yes.
Sometimes a teacher is maybe biology teacher, maybe physics teacher, but he have the interest in the readings, intensive readings. He can deliberate many things, on fiction or novel or stories or moral or values or whatever it may be. So this is the interdisciplinary, this is not that very compartmental type. Learning doesn't take place in the compartmental type.
Team learning.
So that's why now there must be a team, there must be a resourceful.
Yes.
We have the pool of like academicians. We say the mathematics, okay, call this, okay, science, okay, this, call this. and then also on availability and other things.
Like in a higher education system, we have faculty development programs where every teacher or every faculty member has to present the topic differently. They are teaching, taking new practices and new resources they can use. So it's a team learning.
The moment teacher will come to know that principal is not only a principal, he is equally an academic partner. He is a good human. He or she is a good human being, and he encourages us. Then the 80% problem is sorted out. Yes.
Can you discuss some other strategies for again implementing the schools about pedagogical leadership?
Oh yes, definitely. See, if the principal is as academic leader, he will support the reflective thinking and inquiry. It's one of the, you can say that principles that reflective thinking and inquiry he will promote. Somehow he will say that when you are something deliberating, reflect upon it, think upon it, kya hai ye, kyun hai aisa? That type of culture is to be set up in the school. Then set up a professional learning communities. वो professional क्या है? It is not a one-time training. When I came as a teacher, in the pre-service I had some training. It was told that I must have a lesson and I will go to the class, I will teach this topic, but when I entered in the class, all of a sudden I find that a student has pushed to another student. He fall down, blood came. What to do? I am prepared and taking my lesson for something else, but in that situation, the teacher what to do? My professional competencies must tell me that how to explore that situation. Whether I can teach something biology, in the initial stage I can say that why this blood is not stopping. What you call it in the biology? And how it will stop. The things, when the opportunities are tapped and they are facilitated for learning, then only it will happen. Then you can say that building a culture of innovation in the schools. A teacher is very good in communication skill. He is equally good in the content knowledge. But student says, sir, you are very good, but I am not able to understand what you are communicating. Teacher must think what I must do. Then comes to the teaching learning process, the pedagogy. He is equally good in pedagogy also, but even then the student says, sir, I am not able to understand. When I said that, the vision of Sri Aurobindo that no child to be looked upon as unfit to education, if 5 students are not able to learn, then what I must follow? Then the scope comes for the innovation and experimentation. The system and organization that do not change or do not feel the need to change stagnate, decay and ultimately die. That's why innovative methods, how it's evolved. If I am not able to learn, then what I must do? Few innovative practices took place in the distance areas like Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Recently I have visited in a diet. The principal went in a school and he came to know that student of 4th class, they are not learning what are the shapes. Through natural settings and games, like what type of rainbow, what is the shape of the rainbow, what is the shape of the mountain, and so on. Very beautifully he has gone to the field, all the teachers were motivated. So such type of action is taken by the principal, definitely something can be done, and I am sure if a principal can be academic leader, then the school can take place and flourish in a very positive manners. Enriching teaching learning process, looking beyond the classroom. This I'll think. If you read to Tagore, many things are there beyond the classroom. if for NCF 2005 you look, and I sincerely, I think time is very short.
Yes, sir.
And I think if I sincerely look to the last slide, if you kindly
Yes.
go through that, a pedagogical leader must read the first, the मूल जो भारत की आत्मा है, the Constitution of India, the Education Commission, National Policy on Education, learning the treasure within, learning without burden, or NCERT initiative. I would like to say that 1975 curriculum, 88, 2000, 2005. This must be read between the lines, not just the superficial, Recent Right to Education Act, Vision of Teacher Education in India, NCT Regulation 2014, the Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, and what steps has been taken by the Government of India to improve the standard in the higher education too. These are the few readables. Many more are there. When principal will come out, after these readings, the teacher also will feel that if principal is performing a number of roles and still he is academic engagements, then how I can be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Deepti, you have facilitated. I am grateful to all the my colleague here in the CIT. Actually, just if I'll conclude in Hindi, यह पथ का उद्देश्य नहीं शांत भवन में टिक रहना, किंतु पहुंचना उस सीमा तक जिसके आगे रहा नहीं. A teacher is always a learner. One who dares to teach must never cease to learn. और बच्चों को सेटिस्फाई करना ही हमारा परम कर्तव्य है, चाहे उसके लिए रात को हमें जागना पड़े या सोना पड़े.
बिल्कुल सही.
the rousing the quest, उसके लिए ज्ञान के लिए जो है वो हमें करना है, वो करेंगे. और एकेडमिक लीडर का एक यही रोल होना चाहिए. और मुझे लगता है इससे चेंजेस जरूर आएगा. थोड़ा बहुत कम से कम अगर 5%, 10% हेड ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूशन भी सोचते हैं कि यही हमारा एक कर्तव्य है, तो उसको आगे बढ़ाना चाहिए. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
तो आज का हमारा प्रोग्राम हम यहीं समाप्त करते हुए, हम सर ने बहुत अच्छे से कंक्लूड भी किया अपने शब्दों में, बहुत कुछ सीखा हमने, उम्मीद करते हैं आज के प्रोग्राम से. और हम इससे पहले बताना चाहेंगे कि हमें अगर आप कोई भी क्वेरी हो, कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हो, तो हमारे टोल फ्री नंबर्स पे आप कॉल कर सकते हैं, जो कि है 1800-112-199. दूसरा टोल फ्री नंबर है 1800-111-265. इसी के साथ हमारा ईमेल आईडी भी आपको स्क्रीन पे दिया हुआ है, जो कि है dthtv.ncert.nic.in.
देखिए मैं इसको कंक्लूड कर दूं, 1 मिनट अभी है. देखिए, जब शब्द अपनी सामर्थ्य खो देते हैं तो मौन ही कम्युनिकेट करता है. मैं कुछ शब्दों से शायद न कह पाया हूं, लेकिन मेरा आशय यही है कि आप यू बिगिन समवेयर, यू स्टार्ट लुकिंग टू दैट कॉन्सेप्ट्स. थिंकिंग प्रोसेस शुड बी ऑन. और अपने आप आपको लगेगा कि मौन के अंदर भी वो शक्ति है कि जो आपको आगे बढ़ाएगी इसमें. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
थैंक यू सर. तो हम कल इसी समय किसी दूसरे एक्सपर्ट और नए टॉपिक के साथ फिर दोबारा मिलेंगे हमारे किशोर मंच चैनल पर. धन्यवाद.
नमस्कार.